Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemanly ladies, and some lady gentlemen, on this On the Rocks, it's a mini-size. As we chat with Wesley Smoot, creator and director of marketing for Unleashed LGBTQ, and me, your favorite host with the sassy most. Raise a glass and let the drinks begin.
Thank you for being
Boulevard.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Lord help us, buttons and bows and pantyhose. On the Rocks podcast, a place where we're too glam to give a damn. Wesley Smoot is an advocate, entrepreneur, and proud bisexual man. Hey, bisexual, from Austin, Texas. His background is in marketing, public relations, and event planning. He is the creator of Weslow's homoerotic cookbook and the highly anticipated brand marketing event Unleashed LGBTQ, featuring the leading LGBTQ industry professionals and celebs in an exclusive, interactive 3-day virtual event. Think the LGBTQ version of South by Southwest. Please welcome Wesley Smoot. Hey, law. I see you got your law on.
La.
Well, that was so good. We don't even rehearse that. Okay, where did you come up with the idea for Unleashed?
Well, working and marketing, having a background in events, and, having a bunch of friends who had different businesses, we wanted to create a platform where a lot of people could see the latest products, services, campaigns, all coming into, I guess, what we call the LGBTQ market for that specific demographic or consumer, things that were both commercially and culturally relevant. We definitely wanted to, highlight things that were, worthy of talking about or seeing, inviting a lot of press, influencers, bloggers, journalists, all to see these things in one space. And we had a lot of great things, planned out for a in-person physical event, and you know the rest. But about January, we started figuring out how we were going to transition our physical event into virtual, and so we started pounding the pavement and really working at it.
Well, I have to tell you, in seeing the marketing and in seeing kind of the schedule of who you have attending, this has such a different feel and has a different texture. During COVID, there has been so many digital prides, many digital events. But I can definitely say this looks very, very inclusive. So hats off to you, because it's like, yes, this is what it should look like. Everybody's invited to the party.
Yes.
Yes, queen.
Oh, thank you. That was a big kind of undertaking and goal for us was really to have just a lot of the brands, but also include every letter of the LGBTQ is very important for us. And we did find a lot of brands that were very excited. Ooh, Green Bar Vodka, big shout out.
Hey, Green Bar
Vodka. But a lot of these brands that were either very LGBTQ supportive, most of them are LGBTQ owned, operated, and see the LGBTQ community as their, primary consumer.
So I have to know, Wesley, what was your own coming out story?
Ooh, what was kind of funny for me was I don't know that I so much kind of came out one day. My dad and, parents asked me, I had good looking guys, come by the house, and it was like, Wes, do you have anything you want to tell us? I was like, shit, what I do.
It's like, we're camping buddies, bro.
I honestly felt just almost a sense of comfort. And, there were people that would ask, and I would, be honest. I'm like, dated guys, girls. And, my dad asked, and the funny thing, he said was like, oh, so you still, you date women also. So maybe a grandkid? I was like, you ass, we still have a grandkid. But no, I didn't. I got a dog.
Well, and we know that children are from the devil, so. Now, you're in Texas now, but where were you born and raised?
So just outside of Austin in Bastrop, Texas,
So
which is a cute little highway town, kind of in between Austin and Houston. You know, one of the oldest towns in Texas, and I mean tiny. But we had the luxury of having the small town life, living in the country, and being so close to like a super liberal, you know, metroplex city.
I think I frequented one of those truck stops there in that small town.
I've heard.
But it, you know, still, even though growing up in a liberal area, Texas, we know, is still very known to be conservative. How did that kind of affect your idea of sexuality? And how did that affect your idea of also? We know that there's a machismo in Texas. You know, we got the jeans, we got the cowboys, we got the I'm a Texas man. Did that play with kind of what your image?
Machismo.
Oh, look at those guns! La la. And then we go to law. But so how did that kind of affect your idea of what a man was and what a gay man was, and even kind of like sexuality? How did that kind of play with your psyche?
You know, I grew up with my dad doing tree removal. And funny thing was, you know, that was kind of just a very like roughneck sort of masculine job, I guess. I was running chainsaws at the age of like 12 and picking up big heavy logs over my shoulder. And it was you know, the gay lumberjack porno fantasy. But I really didn't put too much thought into it. I think at one point, you know, I did kind of overcompensate with the sort of manliness or tough guy thing for a bit. I think if there was anything, that would be the kind of issue. And I think there was a point in my life and coming out or self-discovery where I was kind of like, you know, like a lot of men, you know, I'm not, you know, femme, or didn't want to identify, you know, as some of that. And it's like just 2 cocktails, put on Britney, and I'm the biggest queen of the dance floor. That transformation could not be denied. And, you know, it's just one of those things that's like, you know, get over it. Be your most authentic self. Love yourself. And,
well, and
you know.
I think we've all had that kind of experience when we come out as gay, bisexual, trans, whatever. There's that period of time that we want to embrace that side, that we totally saturate ourselves in it. And plus, depending on what generation you grew up, I mean, when I came out, the only gay characters I saw on TV were the super sassy, flamboyant ones that were queening all over the place. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's what I thought I had to become. And so I had that period of time, and it just did not feel comfortable for me. So now I'm halfway between a Ross Matthews and a Jessica Lange and a Judy Garland. Okay, so
I love it.
being part of the
somebody asked me, they're like, tell me your look. Like you have such a look. And I said, you know, Jason Momoa, Aquaman, mixed with a little,
totally.
You know,
you are like you're a fantasy. Like you are a fantasy. Okay, I want to know, involved in the marketing PR world, we know that there can be many interesting things that happen, and especially the PR world. What is one of the like craziest, funniest stories that kind of sticks out at you from your career?
Trying to send a press release and ended up sending a dirty picture. No, seriously, it was terrifying. And I was like, this, you know, publication is never going to take me serious. And I don't even know that they did at the time, but I also wonder if they thought, ooh, is this him trying to be his like shoe-in to, you know.
It's like, hey, boys.
Hey, what you'll get, you write a little article about us. But no, it was so embarrassing, and I was like, I'm never going to be taken seriously as a professional.
I mean, it's kind of hard to recover from
now
that.
I only send press releases with a nude shot. So.
I appreciate it, by the way. I had to get out. I had to turn my phone, you know, on horizontal there just to get it all in. But I appreciate it. It makes the day go by faster. Okay, I see you have your cocktail ready. So we're going to play a little Truth or Sip. Kurt, take it away.
Truth or Sip on the Rocks with Alexander.
All right, Wesley, so here we go. So you either answer the question or you have to take a sip. Okay. So what is a gay term that you are so over, like hey queen, girl, yes, or something like that, that you are just like, no, I don't want to hear that ever again. Either answer that or take a sip.
You know, you can't come back to me, right?
No.
I'm gonna take a sip. I was thirsty anyway.
Okay. Worst hookup story.
Oh God. Yeah. So, showed up to a guy's house and it was just filthy, like not even just like a mess, but like rancid.
Ooh.
And I just had no idea how somebody could, live like that, respect themselves.
I do have to say, when somebody is really messy, that's usually the best time. But rancid, no, that's crossing the line.
No, girl, there was something either dying or perhaps a sandwich under the couch from like 3 months ago, but I don't know. Maybe he had the early signs of COVID. No smell, no taste.
Oh God!
But,
Oh God! Okay, a gay iconic movie that is not your favorite. You're like, why do the gays love this movie so much?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh my God, I feel boring. I really can't think of anything just like off the top of my head.
All right, well, then take a sip then.
Okay.
Mine is Birdcage. I think it reinforces stereotypes, and it's so awful that they're not telling the son to get his crap together and
oh my God,
honor their father.
One of those characters on Broadway. Like,
totally. Okay.
Oh, you know what? Somebody actually showed me. What was the Liza Minnelli Cabaret? And
yes. Yes, I'm Liza.
It's that, and I'm like, what am I watching? And are you mad at me?
Okay,
But,
so
I mean,
that's
there's
it then.
also those things where it's like it was, groundbreaking for its time, so you have to give it that.
Yeah. Okay, the biggest pet peeve about Pride festivals.
I would probably get in trouble for this, and this is one of the reasons that I'm really trying to create a specific environment with Unleashed LGBTQ, especially when we can get back to having physical events.
Yes.
I really want to have something that's very adult, I guess, and not in the sense of sex or anything like that. I want to have cocktails, act a fool in that kind of environment, and not have kids running around me screaming.
Yes.
Funny thing about kids, it's like, ooh, I love them if they're related to me. It's got to be my niece or nephew or.
Nope. If they're under 18, I don't want to see them. Okay, last truth or sip question. What have you lied about on your dating apps? And I use dating apps in quotes. We know what we're talking about.
Well, inches, of course. I'm 5'9".
That was a good one.
I always say 5'10".
I was like, ooh, oh, all right. So, Wesley, what do you want people to come away from experiencing Unleashed with? What is the takeaway you want people to have, or what's the absolute mission that after I watch the 3 days of Unleashed, I should feel what, or I should have what?
I think you should walk away with learning so much and having fun while you did it. Whether you're listening to keynote speakers or panels, things that pertain to like business and marketing, or things that involve more, entertainment. Whether it's new line apparels coming out from a virtual fashion event, or we just signed somebody on who I guess he was on the Netflix show and cooking show. And was just on, Kelly Clarkson not that long ago. Anyway, he's going to teach some cooking tutorials, some fun things like that. And there's a lot to take away as far as, knowledge, to be honest. A lot of the information you're going to get is going to teach you about so many cool things that a lot of hardworking LGBTQ entrepreneurs have worked their butt off to, put into the market.
And it is also a definite melting pot of people from all these different states as well. It's not like Pride. It's let's see how many of the LA celebrities we can get on board. It's really a cross section of the United States, which I love that idea. It's like we're all hanging out and we don't even have to leave our home. What is yeah.
Oh, I mean, with it being virtual, it gave us just so many other opportunities to be able to have guests who are on the other side of the country and a lot of times on the other side of the world. So, I mean, I think that's just really cool to have, brands that brands and speakers who we couldn't have got because it was, problematic geographically or budget wise. We really found a way to kind of put it all together. And in a funny way, we ended up with more, in a sense, with it being virtual.
Now, what is the future of Unleashed after COVID? Is this something that we're going to be able to all come in person at some point? Or is it going to travel? What's the plan?
No, it'll remain in Dallas. This is where we live, and there's a big LGBTQ presence here. Like Austin with South by, it brings in so much money and tourism, and that's a big goal as well to help all of our LGBTQ entrepreneurs that are here in Dallas. We really want to have Unleashed LGBTQ as a physical event, something that's annual, something that drives a lot of attention to different businesses, to different artists. But we really want it to be heavy in activation and experimental marketing. We really want it to have a lot of different components as far as music showcases, film festivals. Some of the things that we're going to be doing with AT&T is actually incredible once we're able to, all get out of the house.
I love that. Do you think that they can lower my monthly bill? Come on, AT&T. All right. So during these 3 days, how do you want us to interact with Unleashed? Where do we watch? What do we tag? How do we become part of this as the general public?
I love you for asking that one. Yeah. We'd really love people to get on the website, unleashedlgbtq.com.
Couldn't be easier.
Look at our, be sure to register, of course. You'll be given all of the access codes to every single virtual event. Please live comment. Please be parts of the Q&A. Please share with people what you saw, what you learned about. You're kind of getting an inside scoop on this, Going back to what you said about what to expect whenever we're able to have in-person events, this is going to be very industry oriented. So, if you are working in marketing and advertising, if you're a journalist or a blogger, it's typically going to be by invite. So, with the virtual thing, we figured everybody's going through a very tough time. Let's just make it open to the general public. Anybody and everybody who wants to do it. We explored ideas of charging admission, and it's just like, why not? There's a lot of things to learn, even if you're a young person who's an aspiring marketer, or want to hear from real professionals, or if you just want to have a cocktail with during the Unleashed LGBTQ Virtual Happy Hour.
Woo-hoo!
Like I said, the virtual fashion shows and the music showcases, all kinds of really, really fun stuff. But, get involved. And if you can help in any way, if you want to share any of the info leading up to the event, if you want to use our hashtag Unleashed LGBTQ, it's very, very helpful. We started this from nothing. And, I've had a few people who I've talked to who want to get involved, or we're asking, how they can offer their support. And, we can do this for you, or yada, yada. And it's like, because we have the kind of sponsors we do, it's a first year event. They're really taking a chance on us. And it's like, but we're really still small company, tight budget, really, small staff. And, we're doing everything we can. So if you can help with any kind of sharing on your social media platforms, much appreciated.
Well, and my hat's off to you. You did kind of put this together, and as your first year, I have to tell you how well organized, how glossy it looks, and how open you are. I mean, you've been so supportive of all the artists and all of the industry professionals taking part. I know our conversation, I reached out and I said, is there any way that we could be involved? And you were so receptive. And so you really are supporting the community right now, since we're all at home going crazy, not able to
Well, we love you,
connect.
Alex. Don't get it twisted.
It's just the vodka.
A lot of people who hit us up. It's like, we have to be a part of this. And it's like,
all right, Wesley, tell everybody where they can find you personally.
Oh, what, like my home address?
Sure, send presents. What's your Instagram?
It is Weslo_Smoot.
Ooh, fabulous.
Yeah,
Wesley, it was such a pleasure speaking with you. I cannot wait for Unleashed LGBTQ. And this has been an On the Rocks with Alexander Quickie. Was it good for you? Tune in to everything. I love it. Tune in to everything Unleashed LGBTQ. On the Rocks, we'll be doing our own take on the news report, covering movie news, politics, pop culture, and more. Prepare to be unleashed. Stay healthy, stay sexy, and stay tipsy.